The volume of a cube is 3,375 cubic centimeters. What is the side length of this cube? So first, it's always helpful to draw a picture just to kind of see what this would look like. So by definition, a cube is a rectangular prism where all side lengths are the same. So we just have like a Rubik's Cube, right, or a perfect box where all side lengths are exactly the same. And that number is what we're going to try to figure out how big this thing is. What are the dimensions of this cube? So being it is a cube, again, we know that all sides are the same. So I'm just going to label my sides X. My height is X, my width is X, and my length is X. Basically, I'm saying something times something times something will equal 3,375. So I could guess. I could just throw out a number and guess this. So I could just say, what if X is 10? Well, the volume for a rectangular prism on your formula sheet is length times width times height. So I could just say, well, just a little side work here. What's 10 times 10 times 10? If we did that on our calculator, we would get 1,000. So because my volume is 3,375, I know my answer has to be larger than 10. I could take another shot. That's significantly lower. So let's try 18. If I did 18 times 18 times 18. If I did that on the calculator, I would get 5,832. So too big, right? I want 3,375. 5,832 is too big. So what this does help me with is knowing that my answer then is between 10 and 18, right? So I could try 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 while the clock is ticking on that GED test, right? So while there's value in kind of trial and error, there's definitely value in it, we can do this a little more wiser, okay? So if I know my volume, is 3,375. And I know my length, width, and height are at least all the same, right? It's X times X times X will give me that volume. So I could write it like this, right? Something cubed, or times itself 3 times, is equal to 3,375. So what we can do is, just like we discussed the opposite of an exponent of 2, or the opposite of a squaring a number is square rooting a number, the opposite of cubing a number is the cube root. So if I went ahead here and I took the cubed root, there's a little 3 there now, cubed root of 3,375, and the cubed root of this, right? If I'm taking the cubed root of a cube, something that's being cubed, that leaves me with my base of X. Right, so now this is really what I want to figure out. What times what times what is 3,375. So thankfully on the GED test, this will be a calculator question. Okay, if it weren't, we'd have to go by pattern, kind of trial and error. But this type of question I would foresee being on the calculator portion of the GED test. So how we can enter this on the calculator is, because we're taking the cubed root, we would first have to hit the key 3 to let us know that we're taking the cubed root of this. And then we would hit the second function, the green key in the upper left-hand corner of your calculator. And then the exponent key, it's on the left side, kind of in the middle. I call it rooftop, but it's the exponent key. And then we can enter our 3,375. So I want to take the cubed root of 3,375, and that yields 15, which is indeed between 10 and 18. Right? So we could have got there if we kept going by trial and error, but this is definitely more efficient. Okay? So a 15 by 15 by 15 cube would yield us with a volume of 3,375.